tell you about Patty's pastries. Baby, let me tell you about Patty's pastries.
What up, y'all?
What's happening?
It's another week with Patty
and Quis.
Hey, y'all. Happy Friday, but really Wednesday. We made it through another week.
Indeed, we did. Another episode for y'all. Hopefully, y'all tuned into last week's episode where we discussed cannabis, all things beneficial, and, the uses and ways that it affects the workplace and, our everyday lives. So if you haven't gotten a chance to go catch up on that, make sure you do now.
Yeah, y'all missing out. If y'all aren't running these episodes on your way to work, in the gym, on your way home from work, cooking dinner, like, you missing out. And that's totally unbiased. Like, you're missing out, because I even go back and listen to them myself and get stuff. Me and Quis were just talking, like, I get stuff from them myself. So guys, tune in.
Definitely.
Quis, what are we talking about this week?
This week, how we're going along the lines of the alphabet. We made it to D if you've been tuning along this far. And for D, we're going to go with debt.
Debt. Now, that's a real one.
Definitely. Everybody know debt.
And listen, everybody is...
Most likely, in
regular people, you know what I mean? Me included.
I'm in that category as well.
Yeah, I mean, debt is a real, and I think definitely for, like, our age category. Like, sure. I feel like you should start, like, financial literacy or intelligence, like, in your early 20s, because if I would have, like, my credit would probably be like a 900 right now, but yeah, no, but debt is real. But I will say this, like, in my years, I feel like debt really doesn't start, like, meaning anything until you're ready to purchase your first home.
You think so?
Or finance your first vehicle. Or, yeah, let's be real.
So what if you never plan on purchasing a home? You just want to rent for forever. You just plan on buying.
Do you want to rent for forever?
Nah, I definitely don't. I already went through the home process and shit, and that definitely played a process in that.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I would have to think at some point, whether it's, okay, let's say you don't want to buy a home. If you're not going to buy a home, then 9 times out of 10, you're either going to be traveling on the regular, nomad life, or you're going to be like RV life. And an RV is pretty much like purchasing a home, because a nice one's like 200 bands.
For sure.
And up. So, yeah, I don't really feel like people take it serious. Credit and debt.
For sure.
I don't think people take it serious until later on in life. Because, like, let's be for real. I have, like, younger people in my family. Like, I was young, like, in my 20s, like, in your mid-20s, where you, like, oh my God. Like, hell no. You were like, oh, they done fucked up and gave me a credit card.
I mean, not for real. I ain't even gonna lie, like, I don't know why, but, like, if it's anything that my mom has ever told me, like, after I got out of high school, was don't fuck up your credit, don't get into
Mine
that.
Too.
And, don't stay in Newport News, Virginia for forever. So, like, as far as that, I was like, as long as I got cash for stuff, why I got to deal with debt and credit and all that. So, I really didn't go crazy when I got my first credit card, thankfully. But, like, once I got older and smarter, I kind of did use my credit and realized that going into debt for certain things was not necessarily beneficial, but it did help me out, because fuck, like,
I didn't get my first credit card until I was like 35, 36.
Okay, damn.
And it wasn't that I didn't have bad credit. I had no credit, like, which, we'll talk about this on a different day, but no credit is just as bad as bad credit, because, and my mom was very, like, she was very smart when it came to money. You know, I mean, she is very smart, but like growing up, like I had a good influence as far as she was frugal. You know what I mean? She had kids, like she had to make it happen. So,
I think that's where I get my money frugalness.
oh, I definitely get it from mine.
out to my mom.
And the struggle. Shout out to the struggle. But yeah, like, so I didn't get my first credit card until I was like 35, 36. And then it's like, and Liz got me on the like, listen, if you're going to do something, and this was like pertaining to the like opening my business, like, you're gonna do something, like you're gonna need good credit, and like it's really not that hard, but you have to be like very disciplined, like, and a lot of people going in, like, we'll just open it up with like living beyond your means.
Definitely, that's where a lot of people's debt comes from. It isn't even business ventures and fucking, you know, shit that's necessary. It's just doing too fucking much.
Yeah, and I mean, how do you feel like social media?
Oh fuck, social media and debt, them motherfuckers go hand in hand. I feel like social media makes you feel like you have to live this life or be doing these kinds of things all the time because people posting the highlights of their lives and shit like that. So like y'all going into debt to go and get these clothes and have these fashions, go on these trips because you want to make it seem like you're doing this. Well, really, like, I don't know. If you got it like that, shout out to you. But, you know, if you're going into debt for it, you're fucking wilding.
But people don't have it. Like, and the thing is, it's like, you know, people, like, try to make these jokes about, oh, they live in an apartment with a Lambo parked out front. Like, it's not a joke. People do that. For real.
I mean, that ain't a bad idea for I would travel all the time if I had an apartment and didn't have to pay, you know, for a crib and shit. Living the nomad life.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel... You gonna have a Lambo parked out front?
I can't get a license, so no, I'm not buying no Lambo. But, you know, as a real person,
early.
Nah, I feel you. I
Okay.
feel you.
Like,
Nah, I'm not gonna cop a Lambo. And if I do, I didn't buy it. It's a rental.
right.
For the day.
Yeah. Tops the week, and there better be a photo and
that's because
video
I'm
shoot.
flying out.
Yeah,
at the end of the week.
Something. I gotta. Listen, we going to the Grammys at that point. Hopefully, by the time we make it there. I don't think we would get like a Grammy. What would we get? Like what is
Best snacks of the year?
No, like what is like
Top
like
podcast?
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
what kind of
They have podcasts
Yo.
awards and shit.
get us there in a
We
pinch
gonna
with
get on.
Patty.
We gonna get on Amazon soon.
Quis.
Let me do a little bit of research.
All right, so I'm just looking here, and let's discuss. What do you feel like are some of the warning signs that you have a debt problem?
When you know that you're already in debt and you go get in more debt and you think that's cool or you think that's okay, I think that's a sign that you need to chill out. Because if you already know that you're fucking up and you're going to intentionally fuck up, then you wildin'.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I mean, I think like one of the major like red flags is when you start lying about money. And like this is, I mean, in my opinion,
Lying to who?
your spouse,
Okay.
yourself, your family, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need. I wonder what the divorce rate is because of people's debt.
Have you ever watched the show How to Get Rich on
No,
Netflix?
but Liz loves
Bro,
it.
It's exactly about that, and how talking about finances and things like that is like a forbidden topic within relationships.
You got me fucked up.
It kind of put a lot of shit into perspective. Like, I'm not gonna say it's a forbidden topic, but like in my past relationships, that's not something that we talk about like all the time. That isn't like just like oh, how much bread you got so we can go do this type shit.
Okay, so with that being said, how long do you feel like you need to be, how long does it need to be you being in a relationship before you guys start discussing your finances?
I feel like after you've been around a person a while, and you start to see like.
But like, what's a while?
I mean, I say a couple months, because you can learn a lot about. It depends on how long you chill. But once you comfortable with somebody, you seeing them, frequently every day, damn near, and you start to see like their habits, the way that they live their life. Not necessarily like how they keep their house, but like when you guys go out, like, how does shit happen, or like, what do they do with their money as far as what you see. I feel like you can learn a lot within some months.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I'm gonna just tell you myself moving forward, because I have made the mistake in the past. Like, moving forward, if I'm cohabitating with anybody, I need to know your finances.
So how long so that's cohabitating. So how long you with somebody? That's just a whole nother conversation. How long?
I mean, I'm pretty inquisitive, like, right up front. But I make it known, like, listen, I'm independent. I don't need your money. I'm not asking because and I mean, anybody that knows me already knows, like, I'm very self-sufficient.
Gotcha.
But my big thing is, like, if you're not, bringing to the table what and it's not necessarily bringing it to the table. I mean, I don't have a problem with, my partner making less than me or them making more than me. I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, that's your partner, and you guys are, like, there to do it together. Now, I won't go as far as saying my money's your money. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I got you.
Now, when you get married, I feel like that changes.
Okay.
But just, like, because then you're a household.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an option. Like, that's what it is.
That makes a lot of sense. I like the way you worded that. You're a household.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm also all about, like, this is mine. Like, this is for the household, but this is mine. I can tell you straight up, like, me moving forward, yeah, we need to discuss, like, are you in debt? Do you have good credit? Like, and it's not for, you know what I mean? It's not for, because I need it, or like, I just want to know. But, like, yeah, at the end of the day, that's a big deal. Especially if you're I'm trying to make moves in life, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, yeah, being with a partner that's, 30,000-40,000 in student debt, then probably mix a little credit card debt up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, life is hard enough, and I'm not saying, like, people be like, oh, love don't cost a thing. Love definitely costs a thing. Yeah, that's why they make prenups. Like, straight up.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you're good. Like, I feel like another thing that how you have a problem with debt, just speaking as somebody that uses credit frequently, and I use it, like, I use my credit, I try to always use my credit like debit, but, like, I feel like it's a problem, or it's like a bad sign, like when you're only making minimum payments. If your balance is $2,500 and you're paying like $30 bare minimum, you know what I mean? Like, you're just paying interest at this point.
Okay.
Like, you're literally just keeping quote unquote, just keeping the lights on. Yeah. So I definitely feel like that's a sign to where you're in. Because listen, every chance I get, every little extra couple $100 for me, like, let me see which credit card.
See, that's what I've been on. I'm glad you said that. Like, that those are signs, because that's literally me. Like not no more, but like up to like a year ago, or a year and some change, like, I was literally just paying the minimum. But I wasn't running my credit cards up like crazy though. That was like if I needed some shit, or just like, I put a vacation on the card for, because I didn't want to pay cash. I just figured I'd
pay it off in installments.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you saying that definitely makes sense, because now I'm definitely offered paying twice as much, or with TikTok and shit, I ain't gonna lie, I picked up some pay the shit halfway before your shit is due, and then pay the one day before, I don't know, some shit. I just started looking into it recently, but like, I guess there's other ways that have your credit get raised with, I guess, the shit that you're spending.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing, I mean, it's credit card utilization, which we'll get into that too, but like, that affects your credit score. Like, you can be paying, I mean, there's been times where I'll see like a drop in my credit score and be like, what the fuck? Like, I don't have anything in collections. Like, the whole time I've had a credit card, I've never had one late payment, like, at all. Same. That's why, like, any credit card I want, like, they're gonna give it to me because they know they're gonna get their bread. Like, but that comes from being raised like, listen, your bills come first.
But pay what you owe. That's what I'm.
Yeah, like, you're only as good as you're only as good as your word. So like, and that goes with like the credit, institutions as well. Like, for real, like, they're giving you this on the strength that, listen, I'm gonna pay it back, and I'm gonna pay it back on time. Like, so they're taking you for your word. Your word will get you far.
Yeah, I believe it. That's why I'm in the good credit score category. So. I wasn't excellent, but I'm gonna get back up there.
Yes.
Or no, I was in a very good. Excellent was like a couple points away. But like, credit is a big thing. So if y'all aren't, big on your credit, definitely make sure that y'all take care of that. Don't take more than you can't pay back. Like,
And if you need help, I definitely have some plugs. So feel free to drop a comment or send us a message.
There you go. Plenty of information to give out to help everybody.
Excuse me. So, what would you feel? Oh, let's get into it.
Okay. Take a sip real quick.
Yes, me too. Cheers. Freaking, let's talk about, look, life hasn't always been good for me. You know what I'm saying? As far as like having what I have now. But like, I used to tear M. Scott's ass up. Do you hear me? Like, when I was living like paycheck to paycheck, like, and it's just ridiculous how much like they make off of you just being like, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally a week, I'll be right back.
And then get their little bread off top.
Yeah.
Making a killing.
Payday loans, or like going to have to go to a loan shark. Like, 9 times out of 10, like, you don't need it. I mean, I have been in the situation where I do feel like there's instances where it's like perfectly acceptable. You have emergencies happen, you know what I mean? Like, you get sick, you can't go to work. Like, at the end of the day, bills don't stop. So definitely. I get that. But just from a perspective of debt, I feel like that's definitely like a warning sign.
Scott and shit like that.
Yeah.
Understandable. Cash advances, get paid now. All them apps they have now, you don't even got to go to Amscot no more. They got get your paycheck 2 days early. Like, all that shit is pretty much the same thing for real. You just ain't got to go stand in line.
Right. So like, I'm just here on good old Google. Like, what do you feel like are the biggest causes of debt?
Living beyond your means. So like social media and shit like that. Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Some of these are like
on point.
What, like the very first one, and I mean, I'm gonna say this is probably what's affecting Americans the most at the moment is low income.
Oh, definitely. 100,000%. And it's crazy because they talk about that shit on the news. They're talking about the reason that debt is going up from Americans because we're not making enough to even live regularly.
And it's like, you have savings, but then it's like,
that's for emergencies.
You start eating at those savings because that job, and it's like, it's not even like, these are people that work 40, 50, listen, before, there's definitely been times in my life where a majority of it at that, and I made good money, I was working paycheck to paycheck. And it wasn't because I was out here like blowing a check, like buying fits, buying shoes. Like, I mean, yeah, there was a point in my life, like, we'll get into that too, but Like, that was one smart thing about me. Like, trust me, if I go out, like in my 20s, if I'm going to the club, strip club, whatever, my bills are paid.
I hear you.
You'll never see me in the club or in the mall or wherever else, like, purchasing some shit and my shit's about to get cut off. I don't even play like that. So, like, yeah, low income, like, just trying out here, like, literally, like, living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then forget about it. Like, if you got a couple kids.
Oh, man, I can only imagine.
I'm just thinking of, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about myself. Like, forget about it if you got a spouse and a couple of kids at home.
Yeah.
Like,
shit, it's hard just for one person. So for fucking family, like, I can only imagine.
So, Quis, let me ask you, do you budget?
To an extent. Like, I have a fucking spending problem. Like, and it's not
you
even
took way too long to answer that.
Yeah, cause I wanted to make it sound good and shit, but like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, no bullshit. I feel like low key I got a spending problem. It's not a debt problem, cause I don't spend what I don't got, but it's some things that I'll be like, oh shit, it's $100. Cool, let's go. And then this shit that I'd be like, oh, this might be a good idea. This is probably mad beneficial.
Or I'll make some money off of it in the future type.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I mean,
I'm always thinking about
it. Now, I'll never go into debt trying to, and that's the thing. I'm going to just tell you, like, as far as, like, coupon community and stuff like that, like, that shit turns into hoarding. It turns into debt. Like, it turns into, you know, even, like, Home Shopping Network. Like, I remember my grandma's sister, God rest dead, like, my Aunt Flo. I remember going to her house as a kid, and, like, her bedroom, QVC.
Oh shit, everything.
There was boxes and boxes, and this was like 90s. Boxes and boxes of shit she hadn't even opened.
Oh my god.
Just in debt for no reason. Because you want to sit at home because you bored and ain't got shit to do. People do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I mean, how do you think Amazon be getting off? Temu, freaking.
Yeah, no bullshit. That's
you
the
know,
new,
they
that's
make
the
it.
QVC.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's cheap.
Yep. Come on now. You get anything you want.
You get anything that you want off of there. I mean, I don't have Temu, and like, I can't
get it, bro.
I can't take the invites. Like,
people
are like, just spend $50 to get me. I'm like, what? I don't like.
Yeah,
I be
Temu
getting all
made it
these
crazy.
like messages on Facebook, and they're like, just search my code. I'm like, I don't even have that shit. Like, I'm not even being funny. I don't even have that. Listen,
bro, Temu changed the game. They turned it into a social media website.
Amazon gets me bad enough as far as like stuff for my business. And that's where I'll turn up. Like, I've gotten past like the shoes and the clothes because like I rarely go out anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, I can get dressed when I need to get dressed. Like, but it's gone from, oh, well, that's a cool pen, and that's a cool set of knives, $250. Like, but I could totally use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's plenty of times where, and I'll just give a tip, like, there's plenty of times where, like, and I feel like people also shop to fill voids.
Okay.
So, whether you're bored, whether, you know, you're feeling bad, buying something new is going to make you feel better. And listen, that's okay. But you have, to an extent, like, you have to, everything is moderation. Good in moderation. Talking about, totally forgot. Lost my train of thought.
Nah, you're good.
I hate when that happens. That'd be the gas, though. Alright, so let's see here. Oh, this is a good one.
Alright.
Divorce. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a prenup.
So do you think, like,
I don't care if I have $1,000 in the bank. I need a prenup.
So, also looking from a different perspective, do you think marriage or divorce has a big play on debt because motherfuckers don't be preparing for shit like that? So when somebody break up, They ain't got no savings because they was dependent on the other person. They don't got no crib. Well, you ain't got no crib because you ain't got no savings and shit. But like,
I mean, you don't have a crib because you didn't need one. You were living with your spouse.
Significant other, yeah. But still, like, I feel like, you know, I have a homegirl actually who, you know, she got divorced, but she didn't prep for that divorce and shit for whatever reason. So then, like, you know, now she's single, but she didn't have no savings to go get a down payment on a, you know, deposit on the crib.
I mean, it happens, especially in like domestic violence and stuff like that. You know, you know, situations like that. You know, sometimes it happens. But sure. I feel like debt is incurred like a couple of different ways in, you know, marriage. I feel like it's incurred by you and your partner not having those financial discussions.
Indeed.
And one of you guys is good, one of you guys not so good.
Nice.
And then, I mean, it's just like the law of gravity. Like, it's gonna, affect, you know, 100%.
Yeah, for sure, it's gonna affect the household. Like, yeah,
100%. So I feel like it happens like that.
That makes sense.
I feel like, another thing where you know, as a couple, like, you go on vacations.
True.
The kids have fucking tuition or private school, you know, or daycare. You know, you have vehicles. You have a home. You might still have some student debt because, you know, people go to college for years. Like, culmination of things.
True.
You know, if we get together and your mom falls sick, then now she's our responsibility. True. You know what I mean? Like, you don't plan, like,
nobody plans that.
Yeah, but like, that's stuff that you have to think about, because marriage is just not like an institution of marriage now. Marriage is a business. And if you, just like any other business, if you don't do your research and you don't plan, then you're like setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, for sure.
You listen, God rest the dead, but in the words of Tina, baby, like, what's love got to do with it? At the end of the day, y'all still be broke and fucked up because you thought they was a good person.
Y'all was gonna be together forever.
Forever.
Yeah. Forgot about your business that you got oriented. That shit is all said and done. Makes a lot of sense. How do you feel about, as far as like student debts and like medical debts and things like that? Like, I know nowadays they have a lot of, like, I haven't tapped in with nobody, but a lot of people are like, yeah, let's get rid of like your student debts and your, you know. I
mean, didn't like Grandpa Biden, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. They got shit going on, but like.
See, I had a full ride, thank God.
Okay,
like,
if you didn't and you had to pay it back and you happened to pay it back and then Grandpa Biden dropped that shit 2 years later, how you gonna feel about that?
I would.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean,
oh boy.
But listen, that's just life. Like, at the end of the day, when you went to school, you knew you had to sit down and sign that paperwork.
Indeed.
But on another note, I also feel like, and I don't even know if I want to say it because like they're gonna come after me. But like, listen. These schools and universities know what the fuck be going on. These financial advisors know what the fuck be going on. They're there to advise for the school, not to advise you.
Exactly.
Advise you to take advantage of that tuition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real. I've been to college. Like, I know. Trust me.
Kudos to you for your full ride.
Yeah, thanks. University of North Carolina, A&T. Aggie Pride. HBCU.
Come on.
Yeah, shout out to the Aggies out there. All right, this is a good one. How do you feel like your savings influences whether or not you have a problem with debt? Or how fast you accumulate debt or deal with debt?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because if we're being completely honest, I have enough money in my savings to get out of debt, but I just haven't for whatever reason. I don't know like what the fuck I'm waiting for. I could just pay off all my debt.
Okay, but if you pay off all your debt, now this might be nosy and you can choose not to answer it, but if you pay off all your debt, would you still have a decent amount in your savings?
I mean, decent, no, but I still have a savings, so it's kind of like, I feel like now I have all this bread in my savings that if I wanted to, I can go spend, which I'm not because I'm frugal with my shit. But if I wanted to, I could. If anything happens, I got this bread in my savings. But as far as my debt, I feel like I don't, that money, like if I pay it off, I could go get a loan, or I could of course, hustle till you get the bread, but I could go get a loan, but then that put me back into debt. So it's kind of like,
yeah, loans are scams.
you think so?
Yeah, for sure. Depending on the loan, like, yeah, like any short-term loan, yeah, like any short-term loans are scams. Like 24, 36 months, like even up to 60 months. Like, listen, I've had experiences with my homies where I've like literally seen them getting whacked because of like them just needing to, get ahead. And then like the amount that they, and like let's keep it real. Who sits down and reads terms and conditions word for word?
Nobody.
At all.
Motherfuckers scroll through that shit and hit
right,
the
that's why people pay lawyers. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how they get you.
Facts.
So, I mean, I definitely feel like your savings affects the amount of debt that you get in, because just like you said, you're like, you have enough in your savings to pay off your debt. Same. But it's like, I also know, like, what if life happens? You know what I mean? Like, my credit's good, thank God. Like, worst case scenario, I can apply for a few more cards. Like, worst case scenario, but like, that savings is that savings. Like, I feel like your savings is like $100 bill. Once you bust it, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Once you start dipping in, and like, let's not talk about like 401ks, stuff like that. People, like, when you start cashing in 401ks, you got a problem.
I don't know nothing about that. No one know nothing about that.
Well, I'm just telling you, you got a problem.
I got you. Stop cashing your 401ks, y'all.
No, save them 401ks, y'all. Save them. All right. I mean, this is a good one. Being here in good old South Florida, like, how do you feel? Like, what about gambling?
Ooh, gambling is I'm glad I don't have that problem, but gambling is crazy, bro. Like,
I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I've been in the casino a couple of times where I done lost it all back.
Really?
Now, I'm heavy on the, listen, if I go in there with 50 and I hit for like 3, 4, 5, I'm out of there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I've also done the same thing where I've hit for like, now I'll cash out and then put 100 back in and get up to like 300, 400 again and lose it all. But like, look, I definitely have enough self-control to get in that bitch and be like, nah.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. I lose that 50, I'm
gone. It was good.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out a little bit, make sure I'm good, got my 50 back.
Yeah, once I win, I put my 50 in my pocket. Now I might fuck up the rest of the blood. Yeah. But I'm leaving with that same 50. It was nice and it was entertaining. Indeed. Like, and at the end of the day, that's what gambling's supposed to be, is entertainment. Like, it shouldn't be, I definitely don't feel like, you got professional gamblers and I get it, but like, no, I'm good.
I'm super good on that. Debt and gambling, it should not be a thing. Gambling is gambling. That means you might not win. You might win, but you might not.
Yeah. All right. Here's a good one. How do you feel like debt affects your life, or just life in general?
On your mental, for one, I feel like that does play a big role, because when you're in debt, like, that shit really causes a lot of people to be stressed the fuck out. Like, my bad. People be, that'll fuck up somebody's day, like, real quick. You realize the damage that you done and how deep you in the hole. that'll fuck up some shit. So that's just a chain of reactions to everything else. Shit, that chain of reactions affects everything. Affects how you feel about work, affects how you talk to your spouse, affects how you, the things that you do in your daily life. That shit really affects a lot, bro. Like, that cause of depression, I'm pretty sure that's on the, when you read fucking depression, I'm pretty sure that's somewhere in there.
Oh, I'm sure, like, I would definitely feel like, you know, anxiety and depression, it causes 100%, 1 and 2, anxiety and depression. I don't know about you, but, like, again, my credit's good. Like, do I fall on, like, yeah, like, I'm in sales, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have great weeks, you have good weeks, and you have weeks where it's like, bitch, I should have just slept from Monday to Friday, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I definitely feel like, I don't even know where I was going with that. Lord have mercy.
It's the gas.
It is the gas. But yeah, I do feel like debt affects your mental health for sure. I remember what I was saying. But being in sales, you know what I mean? Nothing's guaranteed. And that's the scariest part about being, you know, in business and working for yourself, is like nothing's guaranteed. You have to go out and get it. So it's a lot different if you got zero balance and, you know, you hit a rough month. Then you're like, okay, boom, worst case scenario, you know, I can put it on a credit card, I'm good. But if you already have some stuff on credit cards, then yeah, your brain's gonna be like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna do this? And like, stress really kills. It causes heart disease, like it causes strokes, like it is not good. No bueno. So,
yeah, stress in daily life plays a lot, and like I said, it's just a long chain reactions because, you know, you're stressing about one thing, and now you're not talking to your significant other, or you talking to them some kind of way, and now they pissed off, and they go to work pissed off. So make sure, you know, y'all try to keep shit balanced out as far as like what y'all got going on. Don't be fucking going into debt because y'all want to look cool and shit.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna give. I wish I had a sound effect for dropping gems, because I'm about to drop one. Like, when it comes to debt, I can tell you from somebody that has, again, worked myself from like zero credit to very good credit. Like, you know, when I first started fixing, my credit.
I say, what you fixing over there, shower?
Yeah. When I first started fixing my credit, like, didn't have student debt, didn't have like any repossessions, no evictions, but I did have medical bills. And fucking America sucks for that. Because you're gonna tell me I have to choose between my health and owing somebody money, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I get it.
That's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I remember, like, you know, pulling my credit and looking at, you know, what I had in collections, and I was like, you know, I would think like it would be. Now I'm gonna tell you what. Pause that. I'm gonna tell you who did get their motherfucking money. Sprint.
Oh,
from when I was like 18 years old and had a two-way pager.
T-Mobile got me.
Bet Sprint got their money. $237. And they were not from like 20 years ago.
Damn.
And you know what I'm saying? They got their money. But like, moving forward, like, I had so much medical debt off of, you know, before Obama came with the Obamacare, and like, you need, you know, insurance and stuff, like. And shout out to Obama. For real. Like, I don't even get into politics like that, but like, that man did him one with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna thank him myself personally, but that's just being like young and dumb, like not having insurance. Oh, you know what I mean? Insurance, $300 a month coming out your check, man. Fuck that insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but then, like, when shit. You figure out that taking an ambulance to the hospital is $12,000. 1,000,
Yeah.
8 to 12,000.
Oh wow.
Look, I worked in insurance
Y'all
for.
better call me an Uber if something happened to me.
I worked in insurance for a couple of years. And insurance is the biggest scam. Like it's needed. And I tell everybody that I can tell, listen, if you don't do anything, get the bare minimum because you never know what's gonna happen. But and it keeps you out of debt as well. But medical bills were like crazy. I'll give you an example. I was going through somebody's bill. And I was looking at the bill and I'm like, they're like, oh, what is it? Because they requested an itemized breakdown. So I'm going through it with them. They're like, oh, I got charged $7.50 for a tissue recovery system. And I'm like, no, I'm lying. A mucus recovery system. So I'm like, mucus recovery system. So I like punch the code in. Guess what they charge? $7.50.
$750
for mucus recovery.
Bro, I'm thinking $7.50.
No.
Oh my
Guess what they
gosh.
charge?
What?
Mucus recovery, a box of tissues.
Oh wow. Sheesh.
That's what happens when you don't have insurance.
They make it off like a fat rat.
Like Tylenols, they're charging $300 for. Man, I'll get that shit when you prescribe whatever you prescribe and I go pick it up with GoodRx. If you don't have insurance, guys, GoodRx, they give you discounts on prescriptions. If you do not have... I've used GoodRx with my insurance and gotten stuff cheaper than my copay. And my copay is only like $10.
Hey, that's free game, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all better pay attention to that right there.
Also, what I was going to say in regards to dispute it. If it's a good thing for the ram bam. Dispute it. You know what I mean? Like if that shit's over like 7 to 10 years old, dispute it off rip. Then, like, if they won't remove it after you dispute it, you call and set up a payment plan. Because what they have to do is if you call and set up a payment plan, it doesn't matter if you're paying them $5 a month. You're on an active payment plan. Guess what they got to do? Take it out of collections.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's
free
like
game, y'all. Come on now.
Free game. I'm telling you, and and you have to be consistent and persistent. Like you got to write these people. You got to call these people. You have to do your research and be like. Sometimes you have shit on your stuff where you're like, ain't no way.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Ain't no way. But like, yeah, medical bills are a big cause. Big cause of debt. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like debt is like it's a really big deal, and you just have to be more conscious, especially now. Like it wasn't the same like, you know, growing up in the 90s like yeah, we were in wars and stuff like that, but it was like life was different then. We didn't have all the technology. We weren't dropping $1,000 on phones.
Information
like,
is crazy.
You know
now.
what I'm saying? $1,500 on a MacBook. Like we weren't dropping money like that.
True.
And the cost of living was, you know, lower. People are out here going debt, paying rent, throw it on a credit card. Cause they gotta pay lights, they gotta pay gas, they gotta pay car payments, insurance, daycare. Like it's real.
Indeed, it is. You think debt can be beneficial, as far as like if you use debt in a positive way, or do you think there's a positive ways to use debt?
I mean, I definitely use my medical debt as motivation to build my credit and get the fuck out of debt.
Okay.
For
that's
sure.
Smart.
But that would be like the only thing where I would be like, oh, it would be beneficial.
So would you ever go into debt to pursue a business venture if it wasn't like crazy debt, but like a band to buy you a machine that makes, you know, super butter? Do you feel like people could go into debt as far as using that as investment, or do you think that is something that people should stay away from if they got a problem with that already?
I would say, I mean, I don't know. There's a couple different answers. There's like a literal answer, and then there's like my like moral answer.
That's cool.
I would say, as a general answer, no, let's back that up. As a personal answer, I would say, you know, you never know unless you try.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta walk before you run, and you like, if it all comes down to like the intro, believing in yourself, like you gotta bet on yourself. But you know, when I quit my job to pursue doing what I do now, like I had money put up. Like,
so I'm ready.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes, yeah, you just got. I feel like it's a person to person basis for that.
Indeed.
Because I know me.
Yeah.
And there's been plenty of times, I'm not going to admit crimes on, you know, YouTube, but there's been plenty of times where I'm like, all right, I got $200 and I need to make $500, but I only have $200. So, like, at that point, you got to bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Like, no matter what, like, I'm going to make these 200 turn into 500 because I got to. Like, but nah, me personally, and, like, as a financial advisement, I would never be, like...
going to debt, trying to make a bet because that's gambling.
Yeah, I feel like you always have to have a plan B.
Indeed.
I feel like you definitely have to, and I've always been that person that has a plan B. And if I don't have one, I'll come up with one before I bust a move.
There you go.
Like, I know sometimes you gotta shake, but like...
Nah, plan B is where it's at if you fucking... Because anything can happen. If you got a plan B, at least you know where you're going.
I feel like, except in very, very, like, extenuating circumstances, you always have... You know, there's stuff that happens, you know what I mean? But, like, for the most part, as an adult, like, you should have a plan B. Especially if you have children.
For sure.
Especially if you're married.
For sure.
If you own a business.
Indeed.
If you have a pet. Like,
that's
it's
plan
just...
B everything.
Yeah, I mean, you have this.
If you
part
got
of
a
being,
significant other, keep them plan B's in the bathroom under the cabinet at all times.
I got a plug for those too, guys.
Tap in if you need them. Half off.
Yes, but I'm just telling you, like, I do feel like debt is something that it needs to be discussed more.
For sure.
Especially in relationships. You know, again, I was young, and like, you know, when you're young, you don't really like. That's why I said, like, it comes with maturity, because then, like, after you've been with a couple people, or you may have been the provider, or what. And I mean, you don't think people go into debt providing?
Yeah, definitely, all the time.
Oh,
right
for
now,
sure.
people are, like we just talked about.
There's
like,
people, you know what I'm saying? This is America. There's people in other countries whose family are relying on that, and I know people, you know, personally, that work their asses off, and they should be good, but they also have to provide for their family. You know what I mean? So where, like, one job will be enough, they're working 2 jobs because, you know, it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm really big on, like, financial responsibility. And again, I think that just comes from being, like, hyper independent, like, my entire life.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, because for a woman who's smart with money and has that kind of mentality, I feel like that's something that you can't. That's something, like, you know, some women expect men to... I ain't trying to put nobody in the box. But, you know, they expect, like, the men to handle finances. But, like, when you know... I mean, like, when you got somebody... I'm going to just say, like, when you in a household... Well, you right. I don't know how the fucking shit. I ain't never been married,
okay, well, I mean, this is how I've always been. And, I mean, we're not that far apart. But, I mean, you're a little younger than me. But, like, I've always... And again, we're not, I mean, obviously it's the 21st century, but like, me growing up in the 80s and 90s, like, we were taught the men are the providers, so they go out and get the bread, and the wife fucking handles the bills. You know what I'm saying? How many men do you see? I mean, maybe now, even now in my most recent relationships, like, I'm always the one that's like, this is due then, this is due then, this is due. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. Maybe I haven't been in a relationship like that, or maybe I don't give the women in my relationships the opportunity to do so because, like you said, you're so financially independent. I feel the same way. Like, I need to know that my shit is taken care of. Like, so I'm not the one at the end of the day fucked up. So I know that my bills is doop. And shit, since I did my shit, I'm gonna do your shit too. So what you got coming up? Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on. I definitely feel like, in my experience, I feel like women are a little bit more knowledgeable as far as the household finances as well.
That makes sense. I definitely understand where you're coming from. I feel like that's actually a very good topic, because not necessarily our age difference, but because you're a woman and you see life from a different perspective, and I see life from a certain perspective, and just like how things are changing as far as like times, like, you know, chivalry, and like, oh, like the men being like sole providers of household and women just handle the finances or handle certain things like that. I feel like that would be definitely a very good.
That would be. We're gonna start some fights on that, I'm sure, but like that would definitely be.
But there's so many different perspectives on that. That's why.
I mean, I feel like now. Okay, we'll just like touch on it and then like we'll wrap it. But I feel like now times change.
Indeed, they have.
You know what I'm saying? Now. There's single dad. I mean, there's like stay-at-home dads while women are going to work. Like,
there's
now, me personally, I mean, I'm all about single dads. Like,
hey,
you know what I mean? Yes. Shout out to the single dads doing their thing. Like, we appreciate you. But I definitely feel like, what were we talking about?
Just like how things have changed over time.
Oh yeah, as far as like things changing over time, I definitely feel like, you know, now, as to where, you know, women, you have to think too, like, back then, like, women didn't always have equal rights, and they didn't always, you know, they couldn't always, they wouldn't be accepted. Like, women now can work on construction sites, freaking do everything, I mean, within reason, you know, do everything that a dude can do. And it wasn't like that back in the day. So I understand it from that perspective. But I feel like now, if you're with somebody and y'all got y'all shit together, then you should be working, because like, who wants to date? I mean, I'm sure when you date somebody, like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Me personally, like, I'm at the point in my life where, like,
I'm listening.
I don't need, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking about my future and, like, staying out of debt and getting out of debt. So it's like, you gotta work. It's like 50-50. I'm on that 50-50 tip. Unless, like, you're just cool as a man saying, like, look, culturally, that's different too.
Yeah,
because, like, you know, the Middle East and stuff like that, like, they feel, you know, like, listen, the women are the women. They take care of home. They take care of the kids, whatever. And the men go out. I think
that's a time thing too. Like, that's all past shit. Like, just because we might not directly associate with those cultures, or even if we do, like, it comes time for change. So, like,
and I mean, they're a lot more progressive. Bless you, Letty. They're a lot more progressive now than they were in the past. But I mean, there's still stuff like, you can't go in the mosque without a hijab. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, yo, again, that's a topic for another time. But guys, just here to tell you, be financially responsible. Make a budget. You know what I'm saying? Stick to your budget.
Understand your finances.
Understand your finances. Do not live behind your means. And like, savings is serious.
For sure.
And you don't even know, like, $1 a day. Like who? Like I know I'm gonna sound like one of those commercials for $1 a day. Like
Saving
you
baby
could say-
gerbil.
Yeah, like that was a good one. But like that's $30 a month.
That's
you know, that's
$365
$360. Yeah, like that adds up.
Indeed.
So, and then think about interest. It's gonna build a little bit of interest, and then you can invest that into something else. So, get out of debt, guys. Stay out of debt.
Be smart with your finances. Continue to, look at what you got and realize this is what you got. And you ain't got no more, so don't go into debt.
That's it.
For sure.
Guys, have a great week. Thanks for listening in and tuning in. Guys, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Leave us a comment. Tell us some stuff you want to talk about. It's been a pleasure, and this has been In a Pinch with Patty.
Peace.
Peace.